Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary, and we have yet another amazing guest this morning. We have a former CEO who is helping her audience optimize their health in online business. My friends, it's my honor and pleasure. Please welcome Naomi to the stage. Hello, Naomi. Good morning.
Hi, Dave. Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, everyone.
Nice to meet you as well. Where are you calling in from?
Olympia, Washington. I've been in Texas for the last decade, but just moved back here because my husband and I both have our grandparents. Our parents live here, so we have 7 grandparents in a 5-mile radius. So back
Holy
to our hometown.
Wow, 7 grandparents in a 5-mile radius. That's
Yeah.
quite the accomplishment. Well, I can understand why you wanna be there for 'em.
Absolutely.
And I imagine that your goal, is to spend as much time with them as possible. And so tell us what, motivated you to wanna start an online business in the first place, and, how it ties into, your health, focus,
Yep.
and how that's related. What brought you here?
Well, I actually lost a job, and it would sounds funny because I started the company, but I had 2 businesses that I started. One was a multi-unit restaurant concept in Austin. It's still open. And out of that restaurant, we created also a national product line. So I was selling bottled coffee and creamers in stores like Whole Foods and Target and Costco around the country.
Wow.
And we unexpectedly had a manufacturing issue on that business, and I lost 60% of my income essentially overnight. We had to decide what we were going to do with the business. We couldn't produce any product. We went, into out of stocks and had all these inventory situations we had to deal with. And that was a huge aha moment for me. I mean, I was lucky to be in a position where I had experienced what it was like to diversify my risk a little bit by having my income coming from multiple different places, but losing that job was hugely impactful. So I really took that as an opportunity to think about what I wanted to do with my life. And I had a lot of experience with digital marketing from starting my businesses. And so I decided that the life that I wanted, I knew was something I could build online. I wanted time freedom. I wanted locational freedom. I wanted to be able to be my own boss. I'd been an entrepreneur for 13 years. So I turned to the internet and I started creating content online. And at first, it was an extension of what I did with my restaurants, talking about food and cooking and recipes. And I understood how to grow a following, and I did that relatively quickly. But what I didn't realize was the nuances of how to really monetize an online income stream. And what I thought at first was, I'll just grow the following and the brand partnerships will come, the deals will come. It's just like, you create the audience and all of a sudden you're making money. And that's just not how it works. It's a very busy place, the internet, and there's a lot of people with a lot of offers. And you really have to have your positioning down, and you have to have an offer, and you have to have lots of things that you're really designing and on the back end. So anyway, that's where I ended up finding you through Legendary Marketer. And I ended up going through the course and the blueprints in November of last year. And it was really, really impactful for my journey.
Nice, nice. Love that. So what has it been like as you've launched, and how has your focus evolved? You're focusing right now on helping people optimize their health. You've
Yep.
got, quite a following on both TikTok and Instagram. What's your focus, and how did you decide on what your niche was in that focus of your message was going to be?
So I decided that I'm a voice for real food and clean water. And when I started off, it was really cooking content and recipes. But for me, food and hydration and lifestyle, all those things are so intimately connected. And you can't really look at food without looking at water. I mean, our bodies are 70% water, between 60, 70% water, all of our organs, our bones, our brain. So for me, it goes hand in hand. So I use my platform now as a voice for real food and clean water. And all of the sort of affiliate links that I've set up and created to support my business are related to those topics. Now it's unique because I don't talk about processed food. I talk about home cooking. I talk about real food ingredients. So when you're thinking about working with brands and brand partnerships and things like that, it doesn't really apply. So for me, I've looked at food through the lens of tools, equipment, cast iron skillets, regenerative meat subscriptions, things like that are really focused. And then my big business, my big high ticket affiliate business is in water optimization equipment. And I do that through molecular hydrogen water, also filtration. So not only pre-filtration for my ionization equipment, but also filtration for shower heads and anything related to that faucet. So I know it sounds sort of strange, but it all works together. When you help people eat better food and optimize their health, you also want to help them improve their water and their water quality.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. There's so many different, ways in which we can use building an audience. Once you've built an audience, then monetizing that audience through your own offers, whether it be your own. I could even see there's so many course coaching and live event, whether that be one-on-one or small event opportunities in this niche that you're in, the real food. And I can
Yeah.
imagine, just for example, a live event being a retreat for 10 to 15 people, where they all have a ticket price of $5,000 to $15,000 to come out for a week, and just you download everything that you have different sessions on different topics. You have cooking sessions.
Yeah.
This could be done at an all-inclusive resort. It could be done there's so many different people who will rent out their space nowadays. It could be international. It could be domestic. Of course, the same content could be created in a course or a coaching program, a live workshop. And obviously, you could even, as you are, offer the information, and then you're monetizing yourself and this information through sending people to affiliate products that you're getting
Yeah.
a piece of the sale. And you would not, for those listening, you'd be amazed by how many companies have an affiliate program that they'll pay you in order to facilitate a sale, to do the marketing for them.
Yes.
Did you know about affiliate marketing before you started this, or has this been a brand new income stream or a way to make money for you since learning about it here?
I knew about affiliate marketing, but generally low ticket. So this is kind of my line in the sand moment. Was before I onboarded into the course, I got into TikTok shop. I know that sounds so silly, but it was really relevant, and it was a new offer on TikTok. And as an entrepreneur, you see something new and you're like, TikTok's probably going to pump this out. I should put up some content related to this. So I was selling garden weeders and linking juicers and acrylic markers and all sorts of stuff. And I made great money doing it, but it was really soul sucking. And I felt like I was in a QVC commercial. And I'm like, I've like built restaurants, and I've been an entrepreneur. I've done all these things. Like, I don't really want to be peddling garden weeders on TikTok as my career choice. Right. And so I was really intrigued at the idea of high ticket affiliate marketing. And that has just completely changed everything for me in my online business, especially having, this very specific product that I support, that I help people integrate into their homes, and I can see what it does for their health. And it's amazing for what it's been able to do for me with ads budget and all sorts of lead generation. That's not just organic. It's allowed me to really focus on the concept of high ticket affiliate marketing, and everything I learned in the course has really allowed me to focus on, driving traffic to my offer, but still also then providing great value on my page with other things that's not just me selling stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like this perfect balance that you wouldn't get that with low ticket affiliate marketing. If you're selling nothing but Amazon products and you have to put up you have to get 200 sales to make 20, $2,000 or whatever it is, let's say, but depending on what the commission is, it's just a very different situation than having an ad, having somebody go through the process of your sales funnel, onboarding, and having a, 4-figure commission out of that. You can support it, like you said, through, anything on the front end with offers, but also then you have these great, high ticket commissions on the back end too. So it's an amazing concept.
Yeah. And you're actually driving traffic into your sales funnel using ads as well, did you say?
I am. Yeah, I'm doing both organic and ads.
And are you using Facebook as your platform?
I've used both Meta and TikTok, but I'll say I think my quality of leads are better currently on Meta.
So talk to us a little bit about, this is not a topic that we talk about a ton on this show, because so many people are doing only organic, right? Because it's so little risk and your advertising dollars can start to pile up. And if you're not making it back on the back end. So you just kind of touched on a few of the things. By the way, congrats on that. I mean, congrats on so many different marketing strategies that you have going on right now. And also even being successful with TikTok Shop. I mean, you're a great example of, you don't know until you try, and you've tried. And that's clearly part of your entrepreneurial spirit, is that you're willing to put, some skin in the game and try, both with money, with time, with energy, because that's the only way to actually know if something's going to work or not. And that is one of the biggest hurdles that so many new people in just online marketing or any business struggle with. So hopefully everybody can take note of that and be inspired by that. Talk to us a little bit about the advertising piece though. And, what have you learned about advertising? Are you driving people into an opt-in funnel, sort of the same bridge page concept? Are you immediately then introducing them to an offer right away, on your bridge page, or are you booking a call? Talk to us about what's not worked and what has worked to allow you to be able to afford to advertise.
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, let me say the whole situation with ads is relatively new for me. And it's something I didn't do for a long time, because to your point, it's an investment. And I will say though, for me, I love it. I love it because it allows me to so directly target exactly who it is that I'm speaking to. And so much of this came from the training, the fishing analogy, I'm going to use an example of an ad I have running right now to my offer. So sort of intertwined, and you may consider this cross-pollinating a little bit, but everything I've done since the beginning really also had some level of kind of homesteading involved too. I talk about food and water, and I have lived on some land, so I talk about some stuff like that. But my ad right now, one of them is really speaking to the pain point of a homesteader. If you're somebody who wants to live on land, if you're somebody who wants to have the chickens, or you want to do DIY projects, you need money to do those things. You can't go to a normal office job and be tending to a homestead. You need to be there. You need to be cooking, doing sourdough bread, all these things. So if you want to develop a remote income stream, here's a training. And so I don't on the front end right now have a low ticket offer, but we take them to a free masterclass or a free, educational class about affiliate marketing. And then I have a $99 offer with some additional training. And then that's sort of what leads into if somebody would want to maybe affiliate in my high ticket offer.
Yeah.
So ladders up in some way. I was thinking about this today as I was looking back at some of the material. Like, I really could integrate some more stuff on the front end to support the ad spend. But it really has, I guess, the entrepreneurial mindset for me has been a desire to continue to test and innovate and invest in my business in different ways to see what works and what doesn't. It's
So
always
basically, your front end offer is a $99 class or course that you're selling
Yes,
on a webinar, and then there's an additional back end multi-$1,000 offer
correct.
that's on the back end of that
Yes,
that you're promoting via your paid Facebook ads.
yes,
And are
correct.
you able to break even on your advertising with just the 99, or are you needing to those high ticket sales on the back end in order to cover additional advertising expense?
Right now, it's my high ticket sales that cover my ad spend, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that's what ends up being the catalyst, because they're, it's kind of a multi four figure commission sort of structure depending on the type of equipment I end up selling as a result. So that's ends up what covers it. But I think having a really valuable front end offer and continuing to tweak that would be really good to support that ad spend, because I really like building the business that way. It's been really nice because it allows me really to speak to the pain point of the exact people that I'm, targeting, for lack of a
Yeah.
better word.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting and fascinating. And for those of you, who have never tried advertising before, it is a science, and it does require math, and the power of having a high ticket back end product is that most of the time, the advertising dollars that you spend on the front end, you're not even going to make that back on your low ticket or mid ticket front end offers. We'd love for those to be break even. So, say, for example, if you're selling a $5 product, like our challenge, for example, you're not going to generate a $5 sale for $5. You're probably going to pay $50 to $100 in order to generate a customer spending $5.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to pay $100, you might be thinking, well, why in the hell would I go negative $95 to advertise and generate one $5 sale? Well, the reason is because then a certain percentage of those people will buy your back end offer, whatever that is. For example, ours is our blueprints, and a certain amount of people will buy our blueprints. And that is typically where we will make up for those advertising dollars. But even with a $2,500 product, it's difficult to make up on the advertising, because advertising costs have risen. They've gotten higher and higher. The competition is more and more. That's another reason why the riches are in the niches.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that you pointed out, and I think this is very important, is that if you're marketing to the make money online niche, there's a lot of people who are targeting that audience. But if you sub niche down into, as you said, the homesteaders,
Yep.
and now all of a sudden you're targeting them, well, not as many people are advertising to those people. It may be, and I'm only hypothetically assuming, it may be a lot cheaper to advertise to those people
Yes.
than it is to advertise to the make money online audience as a whole. Is that true? And what comes up for you when I kind of zero in on the sub niche aspect of advertising?
No, I agree with you 100%. And actually, what's really interesting is I now have retainer clients who I'm helping with their ads with exactly this situation, right? Looking
Yeah.
at what really is untapped. Because to your point, if somebody is just wants to go into the make money online, they say make money online, and I'm going to post about that organically 3 times a day because I heard posting 3 times a day is going to grow my reach. And then you're putting it up with ads. Just there's so much saturation there. And you also sometimes deal with spam bots and things like that who like to go into the comments and try and derail people. So what I really have sort of adopted the mindset of who is this sub niche? What is their pain point? How are we speaking directly to what it is that they're experiencing? And then how do we provide the solution? So for example, I have a client who's a holistic health nurse. And one of the ads that we have running for her is, are you a burnt out nurse that is sick of working? who is sick of working nights and weekends and you want to be home with your family. This is an amazing, it's like, it gives me chills talking about it, but this is the mindset in which I want to support people if they create ads, because it's just, yeah, everything else is so saturated. So you got to think about who you are, who your avatar is, and what they're experiencing and how you can help.
And even if it's not who like, just targeting people and tweaking your ad message, right? Tweaking your ad based on the audience that you're targeting. You could be sending them to the same exact product, or the same exact opt-in page, although it would behoove you to have a slightly customized opt-in page if you're targeting nurses. So when they go to that opt-in page, they actually feel like it's for them specifically. But you could even send them to the same opt-in page if it was generic enough, meaning that it didn't specify or call out any one specific audience. But yeah, now you take your make money online offer, and you're speaking in your ads to nurses, and you're targeting nurses in your ads. That particular category, Meta will allow you to target pages for nurses, groups for nurses, nurse organizations and things of that nature. I mean, really, you just can type in nurses or nursing or medical, and or hospitals or things of this nature. And kind of options will pop up for you to be able to choose this particular audience. While on the other hand, you create another ad, again, going to the same offer, for homesteaders, right? And now all of a sudden you're typing in keywords. The first keyword you would start would be homestead. If you're struggling with keyword ideas, you could go to ChatGPT and say, give me 50 keywords, or even 20 to get started, keywords that are related to homestead, or homesteading, that I could use in an advertising campaign in order to target this specific audience. You could then go over to plumbers, construction workers, contractor. I mean, right? It's all about focusing.
Infinite. It's infinite. And that's where it's just so powerful too, the concept of the bridge page. Because if you're speaking directly to these people and you're speaking to their experience, and they see themselves in this ad and they can see how you can help them solve their problem, then when they come to your bridge page, even with a short bridge page video, and you're mimicking what your offer is on the back end with the cohesion in terms of the look, the feel, all the things you teach in the course, your bridge page video can be a great opportunity for you to speak to where they started, which was at your ad, to where they're going. So then all of a sudden it's this seamless integration to your offer, and you've been able to target different sub niches of people that can really benefit from this. And you're not talking to all the same people who want to do affiliate marketing or making money online.
Right. This is gold. I mean, this is a masterclass. This is wonderful. Really, really good stuff from you. Yeah, girl, you're rocking it. So what are some of the, even though you've been a successful entrepreneur in the past, what were some of the limiting beliefs and mindset issues you have had to or are currently overcome to execute and follow through with all of this?
That's a great question. I would say the biggest thing is the connection between self-care and your results. I mean, this has been huge for me. I really, for the last decade, did not prioritize exercise, did not prioritize really taking care of myself. And I got to I was feeling kind of stagnant in my business. And one of my mentors said to me, if you're doing all the right things, if you've got your funnel that you've built, if you're driving traffic, like all these back end things, if the only thing that is missing is you, then someone that was on this call goes, the puzzle piece is you. Start working on you and see what happens. And so I actually committed to doing a 40-day fast. I did this fast called the Daniel fast. And I started exercising, and I started just pouring into myself. And wouldn't you know it, all of a sudden, sales start coming in, business partners come in. I onboarded 8 new clients. And so for me, that was a big limiting belief that, there's not a connection between the two. You work hard, you get the results. But in my opinion, and from my personal experience, and anybody I think who is in my immediate network would validate that they've seen this transformation happen. When you work on you and you work on your self-care and you take care of yourself, and you put good food in and you drink good water and you move your body and you tend to all the things that are important, it's not just out of the blue that your business can experience better results. There's this interconnectivity between all of it, and part of this really, it's like this idea of not I'll believe it when I see it, but it's like I'll see it when I believe it. You have to really step into the person that you want to become before you see the results to get the results, I think,
I mean, the I'll see it when I believe it. Say that again for the people who didn't
and
hear
I
it in
have
the
to
back.
tell you, this is from my girlfriend Carly, who's just amazing. But she said most people think about things as I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
But instead it's I'll see it when I believe it.
Yeah.
Right? Like the results come from you having the faith in yourself. It's really like you stepping into the person you need to become to get the results that you want.
Yeah. Without a doubt. I love that. And it's, if you want to be successful, you can almost take these little sayings and cliches that the world says and just say them backwards, right? I mean, which is it's sort of like figure out what the masses are doing and do the opposite.
Yes.
Right?
It's true. It's the white space. Oh my gosh. That just came to me. Like I thought about this all the time when we had our product company. I always went to the grocery store and I would scan the shelves and I would look at things and say, where's the white space? Where is the area where somebody hasn't done something yet? And now I need to go fill in there. And it's the same thing with everything we're talking about with if somebody decides to do ads or even with organic marketing, right? It's like there's so many voices. How are you so specifically you, and how do you speak to somebody who's going to resonate with something that, I mean, and I'm not saying you can't just duplicate what's been done before a million times, but it's like, that's what makes something a little special.
Yeah,
it's
it
the
really
white,
is.
right?
Yeah, you have to go where people are not crowding. It's sort of like that meme where it's like, and they've done it for a bunch, but it's like there's two lines, and one's like, medications and doctors and pills for quick fixes. And then it's like, there's a line full of people in that one. And then it's like, go to the gym, eat good, healthy food, take care of yourself. There's like 2 people in that. You know what I mean?
Yes. It's so true.
Yeah. And that could be, replicated in so many. One of my other favorite memes is the guy speaking up in front of the crowd. And he's like, who wants change? And everybody's like, me. And then he's like, who wants to change?
No one.
No one, right? And
No, it's
so
painful. It's hard.
yeah.
I mean, it really took me, I was thinking about this morning because now it's second nature. I did this fast and it really kind of quelled all of my old habits and anything that I was sort of doing that were not, I mean, not ideal. I eliminated so much stuff that then when I was off the fast, it was so much easier for me to just make better decisions. And I think that that's really, really important. It's like, it's really hard to change your life. It's really hard to change your life. So sometimes you need to shake it up a little dramatically to like get your stuff back in order.
Oh, I agree. I mean, big dramatic like change, big shakeups are what I believe are the game changers. Not like, and that's why it's like, I've heard this a million times. People are like, well, I don't want my friends and family to know what I'm doing. And it's like, why? Like that's kind of like trying to make a big change in your life, but not letting anybody know that you've drawn a line in the sand.
Yes.
So like the most powerful thing that you could do is make a public declaration. I used to do this when I was just getting clean. I started telling my sobriety story in my marketing, right? And it was like now I'm like in my first year of like sobriety. This was back in 2008, and 2009 was when I got started. So maybe I was in my like first to second year. But anyways, I like started telling my sobriety story, and now all of a sudden, like I've made this public declaration that I'm sober, and like now like the whole world knows it, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just like this thing that's between me and a few people or just me. It's like now I've talked about it and I've used it. I've turned my mess into a message as well.
Yeah.
Same thing with starting a business. It's like when people come on, one of their biggest fears is like that their friends and family are going to find out that you're doing something with your life. Oh my God, God forbid. You know what I mean? It's like, God forbid somebody finds out that you're actually trying to be the change that needs to happen in your life. God forbid somebody actually sees that you're, and God forbid you actually make them uncomfortable because they're not doing shit, right? It's like, you know, God for, well, they're going to say what I'm doing is stupid. Well, I mean, that's something happened to you on the playground in kindergarten, and you're still not over that. Get over it. You know, people are gonna reject you. They're gonna criticize you. They're gonna say dumb stuff that's not true. If the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't, throw it back at them. You know, throw it back at them. You know, and I mean, maybe they will give you some valuable feedback. So often we project our own stuff onto people and think that they're going to be negative just because we're thinking negatively. It's like, you know, so putting yourself out there, making a public declaration can oftentimes be the most helpful thing, because now you've become accountable to more people than yourself. And if you were accountable to yourself, you'd have been successful a long time ago. The biggest problem is we can't hold ourselves accountable. You know, that's a really hard thing. So you got to like set up different accountability people, places, and things in order to keep yourself on the path. Successful people, most did not start out like all motivated and needing nobody to hold them accountable. Like some of them were institutionalized. Some people were in prison. Some people were like worked their way up for a boss that was on them every day, that taught them about discipline, that taught them about showing up, that taught, you know, most of us have had either direct or indirect faraway mentors that have held us accountable. Many people who were weight trainers started off, or, you know, in great shape, started off with trainers who would be waiting for them at the gym, you know, and you think that you need to do it all alone. You don't. But you also don't always have to hire somebody. Sometimes the public declaration of saying something out loud to other people that you're going to do something, that you're done with something, is a powerful statement, and it can make a huge difference in your life, instead of hiding and like being like, well, I'll tell people, or I'll do. No, you can't tell people when you're successful. Your business, if nobody knows about it, nobody's going to buy from you. You can't hide in your business. You have to get out there and shake hands and kiss babies. I've got a buddy. He just had a birthday. I had breakfast or lunch with him yesterday. What my best friend. I mean, he's this guy. This guy he's a recovering addict. He's done prison time. He's out. He's the president of this network association. He's the president of his spearfishing club. He owns a business that he just merged into another company. I mean, this guy, and he's put himself out there. He's become a networking master, because you know, even his original business was knocking on doors, canvassing neighborhoods to sell windshields. And then when COVID hit, he had to change. He had to go into networking. He started in these various networking groups. So you got to get yourself out there and let people know you're in business. And most of all, you got to have that mental, you know, change that I'm not going to hide. What comes up for you as I rant a little bit about this?
No, it's perfect. The first thing that comes up for me is this idea that when you start a business, you have to have rhino skin. That's like my favorite saying. You've got to just have thick skin. You can't care. You got to show up. You got to put in the work, because I will tell you, every single time I've started anything entrepreneurial, nobody believed in me. I mean, I have few select people in my life who told me it was a good idea. Besides that, everybody told me it was a waste of money, that like I was going to fail, I was going to lose all these savings, whatever. And you know what happened was I created a food truck and it became a multi-unit restaurant concept, right? I started a product company, RIP, didn't end up working out, but so many lessons those two businesses provided for my family for a decade. You know what I mean? And what would have happened if I said no because I was afraid of what my friends and family said or their judgment? What happened was instead they were excited for me once I showed them what was possible. And that's what's going to happen, is that people don't have the faith. And honestly, you're probably going to come across, my personal experience, more skepticism in the beginning when you start something than when you get more established, because people really don't commit to things that well these days. So when you start something new, you might get a lot of people who come out the woodwork to criticize you or say, rude things or make mean comments. But the longer that you stay in it, the longer you stay committed, that you show your face, your enthusiasm, you start generating results. You start talking about your results. Like you show that you're unfazed. The more people gravitate towards that. And some of the biggest naysayers in the end are the people who might end up wanting to work with you.
Totally.
Every time. So yeah, you can't let that bother you.
Making money with Jerry K made a great, vulnerable, courageous comment here. My sister is embarrassed for me. She seems to think because I've tried different things and wasn't successful that people are going to judge me and think I'm ridiculous. Sometimes your family can be the most toxic, and you got to set boundaries with them and cut them off. Sometimes that it doesn't mean that you cut them off for the rest of your life, but sometimes you go no to little contact and you say, if you can't be supportive, I don't need you in my life right now. This is a season of growth for me. I'm not looking for your validation or approval. See, we're such approval seeking beings. We want everybody's approval. And the only way that any of us are ever going to become successful in actually get out there and get results is we got to stop needing everybody's approval. Mm-hmm. And this can go very deep. I mean, many of us can get stuck in toxic relationship cycles because we're also seeking our partner's validation, and it's very much so connected to parents, seeking parents' validation and approval. Going back to mother and father and tree of origin of family origin work. The bottom line is, though, to keep it simple, we have to stop needing everybody's approval in order to move forward. And that is the bottom line. Sure, if you have to live with, if you're in a relationship and you have to live with them, it is important for you to learn how to sell your spouse and to solicit their support. One of the best ways to do that is to ask them not for them to support you, but how you can support them.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be doing something that's courageous, and you're going to be doing something where you may not be as emotionally present or mentally as present. So, hey, I want to make sure you feel loved and supported as I go through this. And in turn, they will likely support you. See, that's called giving value first, instead of just saying, well, you don't support me the second that they don't react the way that you want them to react. But that's a conversation and communication that needs to happen between you and your loved one. However, everybody else can kick rocks, right? Parents, if you're an adult anyways, parents, brothers and sisters, friends, if they've got nothing, if they're embarrassed for you, or if they've got nothing but negative stuff to say, they're not a friend. They're not a sister. I call people who are not my brother, right? Because they're more like a brother than a brother, right? And it's like, as adults, we need to learn how to put our people in place. And usually that's, if you got 5 people that really love and support you, you're lucky. It might only be 1 or 2. Yeah. It might be none at the beginning until you meet somebody new. But what comes up for you when I say we must drop approval seeking behavior in order to be successful? Do you find that true?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would say too, that's the value of having community. in this, right? Like even this Facebook group, how many people get to come together who are focusing on a shared interest or are pursuing some of the same language? That can be a really fulfilling thing and is critically important as you're building a business like this, especially if you don't have support from friends and family, because you get to surround yourself with other people who are looking at things through the same lens. And I was just, as you were saying this, I was just thinking, like, for me, every time I've started anything, there's always an investment. There's an investment in your education. There's an investment in courses. There's an investment in equipment. There's an investment in infrastructure, whatever it is that you're starting. And for anybody to have doubts or, put their concerns on you about making investments into things, I think it's just the most limited mindset, because no one is thinking forward of what those things can provide. Like, I think about my investment into this course. It's like I have 8 retainer clients right now that I'm supporting in digital marketing. Would I have thought by learning these incredibly high income skills that I now would, be doing retainer work for people too, as I'm doing these other things in digital marketing? No, but it's like I invested into my own skill set. I invested into my own knowledge. I invested into my future. So people who don't understand, I think, aren't seeing the totality of the vision and all of the things that are possible for you when you throw yourself into learning the language of the internet. It is not just about learning how to share affiliate links and how to build sales funnels. It's like these are skills that are highly valuable to so many people and highly transferable. So you kind of have to take the limited mindset out of that too for yourself. And like, so when people are critical, they just don't understand the possibility. And so that's where what I really encourage everybody to just sit with and realize is, like, if you're going to do this, you are building a skill set in a language that is highly, highly, highly valuable, not only in your ability to share content in an organic manner on social media, but also through things like, digital offers or high ticket courses or, ads or whatever. It's like, this is a new language. And when you understand it, you can be of service in so many ways. So that's why I never let it bother me when anybody has doubts or concerns. Because again, same thing. It's like they end up, for lack of a better word, just shutting up when you show them results.
Hello.
Yeah.
There's nothing that will be more convincing than checks in the mail, deposits in the bank account. And once those start coming, you stop caring as much anyways, because you don't, trust me, financial success and money in your business really trumps people's opinions.
Yes.
And you will begin to build the self esteem and the confidence that you need, that you may lack at the beginning. However, at the beginning, you need to see your dream. Others can't see it.
Yeah.
Why? Well, common sense.
Yeah, right.
It's not their dream. They can't see it. It's not in their head. It's in your head. You got to be able to see it. And you have to not be able to convince them, but convince you.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't convince you, then that's all that matters. So you have your voice has to be, I break this hat over and over again.
I love it. I love it.
Your voice has to be more convincing than theirs does.
Yeah. In your faith.
About your own dream.
Yeah, in your faith. And it goes back to that quote that I've really just been sitting with so much. And again, I have to thank my friend Carly for saying this to me last week. It's not that I'll believe it when I see it. I'll see it when I believe it, right? It's your dream. It's your dream. You create your dream. You create your bullseye, your target of where you're going. You put the action in place to get there. You don't stop until you get there. You just keep going. And like, all the other stuff just becomes white noise in the background. It's your dream to work against, and it's all possible here. That's what I just want everybody to know. Never making any claims about, talking about income or talking about what people's results are going to be. We know this takes incredible hard work, but it is all possible on the internet. And this skill is just, like, I'm grateful every single day that I know how to leverage this incredible tool, because I can touch every single corner of the world, and I can do it with whatever I decide I want to talk about. It's strategy, and it's something that is learnable. And that's just what I think is so amazing. And I'm so thankful for the education and the opportunity to be where I am today and all the things I've had to learn, because it's just so transferable. And that's why I want to just applaud everybody who's listening and who's here, because you're in the right room.
Yeah. Well, hey, couldn't have said it better. Nothing more that needs to be said. You're a rock star, Naomi, and I appreciate your time this morning. It's been very very inspiring, very uplifting, and very enlightening. So come back and see me. Keep me posted on your journey. Keep up the great work. Stay legendary, my friend, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's great to meet you.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right, my friends, you can follow, you can continue to learn from Naomi over on TikTok and Instagram at Naomi Seifter, Seifter. Naomi, spelled exactly how it sounds, Naomi. Seifter, Seifter. My friends, what a beautiful way to start the day. If you want to listen to this replay, of course, it's good enough to do so. Find it here on the page as soon as we end. We also upload the episodes on the major podcast platforms. Just look or search Wake Up Legendary, and you'll find it usually on the same day. You want to get started with the same courses we've been talking about that teach the same education that we've been talking about over the last 48 minutes. You can go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll. And choose your path. Start right with our 5-day challenge if you want to start right at the beginning. And we will see you back here tomorrow, as always, for another episode. One more for Naomi. My friends, get out of here. Have a great day. Stay legendary. Peace.